Excellent. Again, for those who are listening, sorry for the late start today. We were short a couple people. Some people were out trying to save the galaxy. Nari's just trying to find a safe bush to pee in. And Doc, we don't really care. He'll be here when he gets here.
Really? Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Outing me like that? How dare?
Yep. Well, you're the one letting your... Never mind. Anyway, so... When last we saw our heroes, Nate the Human Ranger, Gobs the Dwarven Warlock, Othokent the Lizardfolk Life Domain Cleric, Talah the Half-Orc Druid, and Abraham the Human Wizard. Our ragtag group of friends had made their way into the Tomb Whisper Hills. Upon entering the previous Temple of the Raven Queen, which has now been horribly corrupted by the followers of Orcus, they solved several puzzles, made their way through a necromancer, and eventually down to the deepest bowels of said ruined temple to find a red dragon who was worshipping the undead god or undead demon prince, whatever you want to call him, and siphoning necrotic energy to make himself more powerful. After a very short but very scary combat encounter, our heroes were able to overcome said dragon. And that is where we are going to pick up today. So, you guys are still down in the Tomb Whisper Hills. You're still down in the catacombs there. I believe Othokent had picked up both the phylactery that you found that belonged to one of the priests that serves under Marbon, and you also found the ring that had 3 vibrant red gems on them, one of which was still glowing with an inner light, while the other 2 were dim. So, that's where we're at, everybody. What would you guys like to do?
Sit in silence.
All right, the temple seems to be clear of its evil influence. And
Abe would still be on the floor contemplating existence.
well, this is a merry scene, isn't it?
Indeed. Can I check out the dragon?
You can. What are you wanting to check out said dragon for?
Well, first of all, whatever has happened to it, the corruption and it all. And then also if it has anything interesting on it. That
Okay,
could perhaps
so-
give answers.
All right, so you're wanting to check to see what's going on with his corruption, and you also are wanting to check to see if he has anything else on him, like gear and things like that, or...
Yeah, just in general, anything of interest that might be useful or give answers in this situation.
Sure. So whenever you're going to investigate the corruption, from which angle are you going to investigate it?
From what
As in, are you looking at it like, oh, it's an animal? What do I see from that? Or, his physicality, or the religious nature of what was going on? That kind of angle is what I'm looking for.
Oh, I guess that would kind of depend on how much I know about dragons. Can I roll that first?
Yeah, you can give me an Arcana check. Sorry, I'm away from the computer.
I am great at Arcana.
They're big and scary, and that the bigger they are, the older they are, the bigger they are, and the stronger they are.
Yeah. Well, but they are intelligent beings.
Yes.
So, I guess I would check it like I would a human.
Okay, so give me a medicine check then.
Medicine. Dang. I hope for investigation.
So I'll say you've seen, with your time, again, you kind of grew up in a rural town. You've helped on farms and whatnot. Some of the decay and whatnot is what you would see around like a necrotized sore on a cow, right? So lots of decaying, infected scales and flesh and things like that. And it does start at his snout and roll back. So towards the back half of him, it's almost completely normal. But especially around his face, his eyes, down his neck and whatnot is where a lot of the quote unquote corruption would be.
Yeah, okay. I guess this is because of his worship. Probably. Okay. Otho, you're much better at this than I am.
Well, I am decently trained both in medicine and in religious practices.
I don't know much about dragons, but this seems weird to me.
Well, if nothing else, I can always go take a look. Didn't want to interrupt you, so I waited.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Anyways, I shall go look at the dragon too.
Sure, go for it.
Medicinos! That I rolled terribly.
Yeah, you're not really that familiar with draconic biology specifically, but you do see a lot of necrotizing flesh, very similar to what you'd see around the edges of an abscess, especially up in the face, neck area, a little bit down into the shoulders and back, but it hadn't gotten any further than that. So the closer to the snout, the more corrupted the flesh is, and the more abscessed and dead it feels and looks. Smells awful.
Part corpse, part dragon, 100% awful.
Mm-hmm.
I share this wisdom.
Yeah. What would drive a dragon or anyone to do this to themselves?
Search for power.
That is one of them.
Fanatic zealotism.
That's another one. Insanity is a third one.
I can understand insanity, but this is like you're killing yourself.
He's seeking undeath. Undeath is not end of existence for some people.
So
You
what?
want to get trained.
It comes back to mortality and wanting to escape, or
No.
what?
Undeath is more immortality in so many cases, though it costs you many things, including in a lot of cases your soul. Abe sits up and ponders the corpse.
I don't understand all these creatures putting so much weight on immortality, to be honest. I mean, if you just live your life according to what God you believe in, according to their edicts, well, except for Morban. But if they love you enough, and you love them enough, you'll go someplace nice. We really need to kill Morban, don't we?
Abe sits up and ponders the corpse, gets to his feet, pulls out his knife, and starts probing in between the scales and the different soft parts of it in order to gain a better understanding of what was going on with it.
Do you need a pair of gloves?
He kind of ignores it and just continues working.
Arcana or medicine check, whichever you'd prefer. The rolls are not with you guys. So the biggest thing I'll give you with that Arcana roll is that a dragon of this age and size, because it was a relatively young dragon, specifically because you were subjected to it twice, the breath weapon, they're usually not that fierce at this size, right? I mean, there's no such thing as a dragon breath weapon that doesn't hurt, but, it was throwing out enough hurt that would be what you would expect from an adult or even an elder dragon. So it's obvious that this young dragon, something had driven it to turn to Orcus to enhance its strength for some reason. Because it was definitely exhibiting abilities that dragons usually don't have, and its breath weapon was much stronger than what you would expect a dragon of his age and size to have. Does that make sense?
Do we have a spare bag or something? Something wouldn't mind getting messy.
I mean, I can take a look. See, give me a moment.
I mean, I have my bag of oats.
Is it something large you have to save, or is it just something liquidy? What is it?
He starts prying at the eye of one of the dragon's eyes. I'm trying to save pieces of it.
Ah. Gotcha. Oh.
Dragon pieces can be very useful.
I will say this, almost everything from the shoulder up is very decayed already.
Oh, is it? Like,
yeah,
not like corrupted, but decayed.
Yeah, it's like
That's
an
different.
abscess.
That's different.
Yeah, all around his snout, his face, and running down his neck, like I was describing, that's all necrotized flesh.
I'll start examining his claws.
His front claws are brittle, and because some of the you can see traces of the corruption there, but his rear claws are what you would expect.
Ah, here we go. Dragon bone claws. Very tough.
I can assist if you want.
Please do. Hold here, peel back. I'm going to start cutting. You got anything sharper than my little pocket knife?
Well, yeah. Got my short sword. That's a bit much, though.
Well, its claw's a bit much. You see it? Size of my hand.
I have a decent quality dagger, if that can help.
It's whatever. Just start removing pieces of it that don't seem too corrupted. We can find uses for it.
Okay, so who's doing the cutting and who's doing the assisting?
I'm going to leave the cutting to the medicine man. I'm directing the extraction.
Okay, so you're giving assistance. So is it Othokent or is it Nate that's actually cutting the claws out?
I was asking for sharper tools than a basic pocket knife. That's all I was asking for. And if Otho has like surgical equipment or something like that he could utilize.
He at least has the basics like a scalpel and needles and such.
You know.
Okay.
A bone saw.
So Othokent, if you're doing it, it would be a medicine check. If it's Nate that's doing it, it would be a survival check. I don't care which one's doing it. Just decide who's doing it.
I'll do it, and I'll cast guidance.
And you have advantage because Abraham is assisting you.
Beautiful. Hiya. Plus the D4. Boom, shakalaka.
So are you trying to get the individual talons, or are you trying to take off the foot at the ankle?
I'm after the individual talons.
Okay. Just the
One
claw
claw.
part or the toes?
The claws.
Okay.
No knowledge.
What do they have? 3 claws on each toe?
4. There's 3 front, 1 back. I thought it could be. No, that's the front claws. The rear claws probably just 3 each foot.
Very much depends on the dragon style.
Depends on who's drawing it.
It was a red
Well,
dragon 5e.
Red dragon, ancient red
draw my-
dragon. Red.
I was about to say, well, I draw my dragons with like 24 claws on each foot. I don't know about you.
This picture I see of this ancient red dragon shows it has 3 on each foot. Rear foot.
Yeah, hopping through a couple of them, looking at official statues and whatnot. 3 seems to be pretty consistent. It's either 3 or 2. I'll give you a total of 5 dragon claws. So they are young dragon claws. So not wormling, not adult, young.
Well, I'll try to find an appropriate place along the body to begin directing to flay and skin the hide off of it, where it's not rotten.
I will say that so this process probably takes you 15 or 20 minutes. The decay is starting to spread. So once you guys you focus on that, when you look up, it's actually spread a bit further down the shoulder and starting to go down the arms at this point.
Jeez.
Does it seem like there's a chance to even harvest any amount of leather?
I mean, you can certainly try.
All right, work quickly, guys. Start cutting roughly here.
That
Assisting.
would be a roll from the person who would actually know how to skin an animal, because that's not something doctors generally do. So I do need a roll from Nate.
Good okay.
Yeah, the only thing I can baseline make from dragons.
Give them guidance.
I give guidance. The only thing
Do
I
I get
baseline
help?
can make.
Yeah, you've got help. Abraham's pointing you, so with
I'm
advantage.
directing. Yeah.
So you are able to get, basically think of the leg, the hind leg, the upper hind leg. You're able to get a decent amount of dragon leather off of that.
Okay. Before it's too late.
Yeah, but you can tell. So give me another Arcana check. So when you get done with that and you step back, you notice it's not necrotic that's spreading. It seems to be more of a rapid natural decay. And I will let Othokent give me a religion check.
Sure.
Because I want to see if you can feel the shift here. So you can feel like you've felt that necrotic energy whenever you were coming down, and it did stop whenever the dragon died. Now you're feeling a different kind of wave of energy. It's still, this one's more divine, and as you start to look around, you notice that statue of Orcus. The horn is gone, and the face has crumbled off of it. You kind of get the impression that the original tenant may be reclaiming things.
Well, I'd rather him reclaim the things than come down here to get them.
No, her. She is reclaiming her temple.
Oh, sorry. Fair enough. Well, that was a mood change.
All right. At least we were able to get something off this guy. No rings on his hands or anything like that. No necklaces or amulets he's wearing. No tiaras or crowns. Okay.
No. He's just a dragon.
No Nikes. No AirPods. Nothing.
I
So
mean,
it's-
he had a Windows phone.
Oh, that's
You-
trash.
Yeah.
So it's only his skin and his flesh and such that's rotting away, right?
Yes. What are you concerned about not rotting away?
The bones.
I mean, they're not exposed yet, but he is rapidly decaying in front of you.
So, like, he wanted to be undead, right? Or it? I don't know. Is there a thing like a bone dragon?
I do not know. I'm not a dragon.
I don't know if you're going to allow Abe to know that.
I mean, you can always do an Arcana check, but I will tell you, a rock dislodges from the roof and falls, and it crushes the statue. And then another one begins to fall, and part of the wall begins to collapse on the right-hand side.
All right, we're leaving.
Hmm.
I mean,
Okay.
there's you know, at least Abraham, that through necromancy you can reanimate just about any type of skeleton. So yeah, I mean, sure, there's probably somebody who's reanimated a dragon that's bone. Plus, there's Failtor, the Slain, the giant undead dragon that's wrapped around the mausoleum that Marbon lives at. So yeah, you would know that there are undead dragons and skeletal dragons that exist. So
Get outta
as
here.
things begin to rumble and shake, you guys start to head up the tunnel.
1 sec.
Sure.
Just a question.
Mm-hmm. I would think not. The decay would be off-putting to it.
Okay. Just make sure.
Yeah, there's something not right about that. And, you know, based off the Age of the Dragon, you know, while some of the exterior stuff wasn't corrupted, there's probably, like, in the muscle tissue and as you get into the organs and stuff, there's probably some stuff there you probably don't want to make part of yourself.
Of course.
But yeah, as you guys start to head up the tunnel, you can start to hear that room begin to collapse further behind you. You guys kind of pick up the pace a little bit and run up the ramps, whatnot. Once you get out of the tunnel itself, that entire cavern and tunnel collapses behind you. The ground is still kind of shaking. All the stuff that's in the necromancer's lab begins to fall over, and beakers begin to break. You start to smell, you know, formaldehyde and things like that. Are you guys going to continue to proceed out? Or are you gonna try to ride out the earthquake inside?
It's better to be outside during an earthquake.
Okay. As you guys move out of that area, you get to the maze, and it has reshaped itself already. Gone are all the skeletal floor and whatnot. It's just dark marble. The walls are still. You can still see skeletons and whatnot, but it's more like the catacombs, right? Where you can see the skeletons have been put in proper cubbies and cloths over their faces and things like that, as you realize that the temple's probably reverting a bit back to what it was before it became corrupted. You make it to the Hall of Echoes. That is something that was not altered. So you hear the various voices and echoes as you proceed through that. When you get to the main foyer, the statue that was there that was defaced is renewed. You do see the statue of the Raven Queen standing there, face no longer marred and destroyed, her gleaming mask there, and her hand is outstretched and pointing towards the exit. Oh yeah, no, that's definitely something you hear, and then you guys proceed up the hallway. As you get towards the stairs that you descended, that kind of crumbled offset stairs, it is now much more even. Everything, all the marble steps are where they're supposed to be. The torchlight is now normal torchlight, not the purplish necrotic stuff that you saw before. And you guys kind of go streaming out through the front gate, and as you do, the large doors shut behind you that have a large raven emblem on them. And as you stumble out, the graveyard itself has been rearranged. Everything's in nice rows again. The wrought iron fences are back up. The columns that had crumbled and fallen over are back. You can actually read the names on the tombstones again. But beyond the immediate gravestone area, once you get outside the bounds of the temple, as you look out, this area that was the corrupted area of the Tomb Whisper Hills is just barren dirt. There are no trees. There is no grass. There are no flowers. You can see to the horizon of nothing but dirt. And you probably figure out all the area that was corrupted has now been banished. So,
Even the
as
crows.
you guys, yeah, what's that?
Even the crows.
Yep. All of the corrupted animals and plants and all of that are gone. So, you guys now stand outside of the Raven Queen Cemetery in the Tomb Whisper Hills. You are not a pocket mouse, and I don't think your microphone's working, Nari.
I didn't want to say anything yet.
Oh, okay. No, you're not a pocket mouse. You just kind of stumbled
You were
outside.
describing stuff, so
Yeah, no, I just saw your mic was lit up, and you weren't saying anything, so I thought your mic was messed up. But no, Talah would have just stumbled out. She would have, maybe put her hands over her ears and started crying a little bit as you went through the Hall of Echoes and heard familiar voices.
Oh yes.
But yeah, now you guys are standing outside the cemetery. And what would you guys like to do at this point?
I'm gonna druid craft a bit, see if I can get some flowers started again.
Are you going to druid craft it just in the dirt out in front of the place, or are you going to try to wind some vines with flowers across the gate into the cemetery? What would be more specific for me?
I'm trying to give the ground around the cemetery a head start. So I'm literally
Yeah.
just trying to make something grow outside the perimeter of the temple.
You're able to, through Druidcraft, cause some grass stalks to pop up, to flower, and to pop out with those little seed pods. The ground is good dirt, nutrient-wise. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just bare. So yeah, you're able to get some grass started to where it'll be able to spread its seed and
All good.
hopefully grow up.
Exactly what I wanted to do. Yes.
Well, alright. Seems a lot more pleasant than when we entered.
Well, we have the ring. Do we have anything else we want to do before we return?
I can't personally think of anything that needs doing here. Temple's clear of the influence of Orcus, and we got what we needed.
Would be nice if we could return some green to this, but I guess it's not our job.
Pip says as Talah literally just made some grass grow here.
You know what I mean.
Well, nature is stubborn. Plants will come when they feel like coming. Worry not, Pip.
Right. So, we going back to Estelle, or where are we going?
I think going back to Estelle would be fine.
Mr. Grissom?
Yeah, it's fine.
Gobx?
Sure.
Metal pipe.mp3. So, I guess I will find a route.
All right, go ahead and give me a survival check, sir. Awesome. So yeah, not hard, obviously, because you're retracing the path you came through. It's a little bit weird because you don't have any visible landmarks. But after about a half day of walking, you've got a pretty straight line, right? You can start to see the grass line and the tree line in the distance from where the corruption had ended. And I'll say it's probably early evening when you guys start making it into actual grasslands once you're out of the previously desecrated area before you have to camp down for the night. With that check, I'm going to say you're actually able to get back and you find your previous camping spot, which is still has some wood left over that you guys didn't use. So the spot is basically pretty well ready to go. So what, if anything, do you guys want to do before we camp down?
Well, while
Go
we
to
are
sleep.
well, Talah goes directly to sleep. Well, all right.
Avoid
Three
all
cheers
Cheers for
conversations.
depression.
Spending extra time making sure the entire area is safe.
So, as everybody's getting their tents and everything set up, you're going to go out on a patrol, basically? Okay.
Well, the entire mood this day has been quite foul. Well, most of the day. Othokent say is out into the air. Or at least to Abraham. I mean, I don't blame you for being so ponderous, considering that dragon seemed to especially dislike you for some reason.
He stays quiet.
Not to seem all self-important or anything, but wouldn't it be more wise to target me in all those engagements?
I wouldn't know.
And neither would I.
Nate,
Yes.
your detect portal ability, do you just sense them or do you have to activate it?
Well, we've kind of been playing it as a bit of a mixture, because as
Gotcha.
written, I need to activate it. But
I will
you've
tell you,
been
when you
playing
are
it as
when you are out and about, you get kind of a feeling.
oh yay! In what direction?
It would be to the east, ish, but you'd have to focus in order to get a direct ping on where it's at.
Then I will focus.
You sense a portal. Does it tell you what kind? Just this closer planar portal. It's probably about 900 yards to the east of the camp that you detect a portal. Very small one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will go check it out.
Okay. As you get
From a
closer,
distance.
yeah, as you start to get closer to it, you do get the feeling that it is really small, but you do kind of get this a fey type sense from it.
I ready my bow and get closer.
Okay. As you get closer, you can feel the portal shut. And you do see a small, winged, glowing little girl flying around.
Not a familiar girl, right?
No.
Good. Then I'm gonna stalk her and get closer. Trying to figure out what she is.
Okay. So give me a perception check. Or no, a stealth check. I'm sorry.
Inspiration.
So yeah, you're able to sneak up fairly easily. And you can tell as you get closer, it is a kind of a pale yellow, like a lily yellow, glowing little pixie. She has clothing made out of like 6 leaves that are sewn together, and she's holding a map. And you are close enough that you can see this tiny map that she's holding, and it is upside down. You would have thought the Soul of Summer would have. Why a map? I can't even read. Why would she give me this? And she throws it down.
She says Soul of Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Nate being who he is, he gets out from hiding and just makes his presence known.
She screams and turns invisible.
I'm a friend of the Soul of Summer. Do you remember Talah?
Prove it.
I can take you to our camp where she's sleeping if you want.
That's exactly what a headhunter would say.
I-
What color is the soul of Summer's eyes?
For fuck's sakes, I don't remember.
Me either. That's the right answer.
Okay.
She pops back out. You said Talah?
Yeah.
You know
Are
Talah.
Well, yes, I'm her bodyguard.
Are
Friend.
you're Nate?
Yes.
Okay. Where'd I put it? Where did I put it? She reaches down a leaf. She takes off the leaf, which is embarrassing because there's tiny little boobies flying around. She's like, "Where did I put it? She starts digging through all of her clothes. Here it is. And she goes, "Oh, sorry." She puts her leaf back on. "Here you go." And she hands you the tiniest note you've ever seen.
And what is this?
It's a note.
Well, yes, but like, so you've been sent from the Soul of Summer to deliver a note.
Yep, to Nate, Talah's friend.
To me. Wait, what?
Yeah. Well, you said you're Nate, right? Talah's friend? Unless there's like 8 other Talahs who are friends with the Soul of Summer who have friends named Nate who look like they always have a stomach ache.
What? I do?
Yeah, stop frowning so much. It's making little weird curly things at the bottom of your cheeks.
Oh.
My older sister said you look cute when you smile, but you just don't do it enough.
Right.
So why don't you try that and maybe Talah will like you.
I think I messed that up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're a guy. That's what guys do.
Probably, I wouldn't know. So...
Yeah, but I would. That's why I'm telling you that. This is how communication works, Nate. I'm starting to understand why she doesn't like you. Listening's not your strong point, is it?
Silent.
See, now you get it. You just stop talking. It's perfect. But yeah, note should tell you everything you need to know.
And, well, do you want to come over? Say hi? I can make some dinner.
No, I'm gonna go back home. This is gonna get me out of all the trouble with that incident with the unicorns.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was. Poor Steven. He'll never walk again. Anyways,
Wow. So the Soul of Summer is good, and has there been any change with the Heart of Winter?
Yeah, that's what's in the note.
Oh, well, right. I should probably read it.
Uh-huh.
Are you gonna leave while I read it?
50-50.
I'll take the odds. And Nate starts reading.
It is incredibly tiny. It's like 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters, and when you open it, there's no words. It's just a very small, very poorly drawn, like white stick figure with a angry face on it, and then like a normal stick figure with a frown on its face and a like golden colored sword. And that's it.
Yes. Sorry, are you still there? What is your name?
Jari.
Hi, Jari. So, am I reading this correctly? That the Heart of Winter is angry that I have this sword?
I mean,
What
yeah.
is this? Can you interpret it?
Well, yeah, I drew it.
Oh.
See, so Summer gave me the message and told me to write it down, but I don't know how to write. So I just drew the angry guy, and he's angry at you, and his whole army is missing, and we think that they're here in the Prime Materia hunting you, and yeah.
Huh?
So yeah. Good luck.
Wait.
What?
His
Pretty
army is
straightforward.
missing,
Uh-huh.
and they might be looking after me.
Yeah, his whole realm
Looking
is
for
empty.
me.
It was weird. Well, I mean, we don't think they're here looking for like a spring cottage or anything. Why else would they come here? I mean, you know about the prophecy, right? It's the whole
No.
reason Heart of Winter and
What?
Soul of Summer stopped being married. Prophecy that one day, descendant of the woman who hurt him would take possession of the fabled sword and strike him down. And I mean, that's why him and his people, they started invading people's dreams, trying to find you, and they thought it was somebody else, and then her mom went crazy and disappeared, and then they thought it was her, so they stole her, and then you came and saved her.
They thought it was Talah's mom?
Yeah. Wait,
Did they? What?
You didn't know that? Yeah, they were trying to find you. They were never. Okay, wow, you guys are really not that bright. They were never after Talah. They were after you. But they thought that Talah was you.
I'm so confused.
And they invaded Talah's, I think it's like her aunt or sister's mind, and that's what made her go crazy and disappear. Right? Didn't she have some important lady in her life that disappeared?
Her mom.
Yeah, because they were trying to find her. Well, they were trying to find
crazy?
you. Well, yeah, a mom just doesn't get up and leave her family for no reason.
Oh, I know, but wow, this is a lot. Do you know where she is?
Or who is?
Talah's mom.
Well, no. I mean, that's the whole thing. She went crazy, and that made it where they couldn't track her because they were trying to use her to find the prophesized one. So it's almost like it was like a self-defense mechanism, I think is what they call it. So she went crazy and disappeared. And then that's when they came and they took Talah because they thought that meant that Talah was the prophesied one, but it wasn't. And that's why one of his generals marked you. And now that you've got the sword, they're really scared. So now they're coming for you.
Oh, well, fudge nuggles. Can I hide the sword somehow? Can they track it?
Well, I mean, they can't track the sword, but they can track. He cut your back up, right? Jeez, how come all of these destined heroes are just so stupid? Right? You've got a mark on your back, right?
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah.
Soul of Summer overrode the Heart of Winter's mark.
She dampened it.
Oh.
That doesn't mean that it's gone completely, right? Because summer can't erase all of winter, and winter can't overcome all of summer. Right?
Right, so they're just kind of canceling each other out.
Yeah, which means if they're close enough, they'll be able to find you. How do you think? I mean, that's why I opened the portal, and I'm this close to you.
Okay, now I'm scared.
Well, yeah. A greater Fey entity's coming to kill you because you've got a sword that can kill him.
No, that's fine. It's just I've got people around me.
Everybody's got people around him, silly head.
Right.
Otherwise, who makes pants?
Okay,
We
so
wouldn't have pants if it wasn't for other people.
is the Solar Summit doing anything else? Like trying to find them, or
No, not really. She sent me to
well,
warn you.
that's great.
Oh, she has a mentality that messing with the prime material world is not good. So, that's what her and Heart of Winter got in a big argument about all those eons ago, and because he started, trying to affect the mortal world, blah blah blah. She
And
said it was a
that's
bad idea.
really
Then
peachy.
the really weird hag showed up and gave the prophecy about the sword. And then that's where that paladin lady showed up, and they fought, and because she thought she was the subject of the prophecy, and then she got hurt really bad, and then she went to her god's realm and to save her soul and all that, put her in a sword, and then the sword got cast into the material world, and then he's been hunting for it, but then that other paladin found it, and he was really strong, and that scared him, and he thought she was the prophesied person, and then he died, and then his really powerful yet grumpy brother had the sword, and then they gave it to you, and that's how he knows that you're the prophesied one. At least he thinks so. So he's got all of his people are combing the multiverse to find you, because they don't really know exactly where you are. They just know what plane you're on. So yeah,
I understand nothing of this.
that's
I'm just
obvious.
Nate, Talah's bodyguard.
Uh-huh.
I live in a small forest village.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why they took Talah. They didn't take Talah for Talah. They took Talah to get to you.
I need to get back
Back where?
to Talah.
I mean, that's probably the first place they're going to look.
I know, but I need to tell them.
Really? You're going to go back and tell her that the whole reason she was in danger was because of you the whole time? That's going to go over well. Good luck with that, Romeo.
Yeah, well, then we can decide what to do. If I need to leave or whatever.
Whatever makes you happy. Oh,
My happiness
I
has
tell you
nothing
what.
to do with this.
I'll make you a deal. So you can get back to her quicker, and she rolls over or flies over to you and just smacks you in the cheek. And she casts fly on you. So you have this
Okay.
little bitty, bright red handprint on your cheek, but you have fly cast on you. She goes, all right, I'm going back home. There's a giant strawberry I'm going to try to make into a hat. And poof, she disappears. And you feel a small portal open and then quickly vanish.
Okay, thanks. Say hi. And leaves. Flies back in all haste.
Yeah, so
Honestly,
as you guys finish setting up camp, you see Nate come flying, literally flying in and land.
Seems like Nate has been practicing something.
Oh. So, I just met with a Fae. I think her name was Jari? Something? Okay, sorry. I just had an overload of information. And I'm not the brightest. So, um, where's Talah?
She is sleeping in her
She's
tent.
Nate is gonna walk over and just try and get her awake. How do you knock on a tent? Gonna whistle.
Nathaniel, I don't think whatever you're going to do is going to go over very well.
What? No, well, yes, but we kind of need to talk about this right now.
Okay, is it a very private conversation?
No.
Well, then you
Well,
can
yes,
start.
but no.
Nathaniel, we have just been inside a corrupted, kinda hellish temple for the last couple of hours and killed a decaying dragon
Oh,
that almost
yes.
managed to kill some of us, and now you are going to have a private, not private, secret, not secret, important, very important, maybe not important conversation with Talah. That does not include me and Abraham and Gobx.
Well, out of the sheer scope of it all, it includes all of you.
Okay. And this is gonna be hard to explain it twice.
I don't even think I can explain it once.
Sorry, that's a good line. Take an inspiration. I love Nate so much. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nate is amazing. It's just
I
I
don't
love
even
him so
think I
much.
can explain it once.
Okay.
Nate is just visibly looking panicked and rushed.
Okay. Whatever it is, it's clearly upsetting you. But panicking right now isn't going to help any of us. And considering the kind of mood that Talah has been in all day, ever since that echoey hall, I do not think waking her up right now with portents of potential doom is going to improve her feelings or her mood any.
I don't mean to hurt her. Far from it.
I know, but sometimes you accidentally do so if you do not think through your actions. I know what you have to say is important. I can see that on you. But you also look like you're about to have a stroke.
Right.
And I'd rather not have to sit here and try and inject you with morphine or something to make you calm down. So take a deep
I'm
breath.
sorry.
It's okay.
Othokent.
It's fine. Just take a deep breath. Gather your thoughts. And then start by explaining it to the three of us. And then we can try and take appropriate action. And if it is really as important, I'm not saying it's not. Please don't misconstrue this. We'll wake Talah so we can include her in everything. And then we'll talk about it. It's not that we're keeping it secret, I'm just also worried about her mental health in all of this. Okay?
You're right. I'm a terrible bodyguard. And
No.
a worse friend.
I wouldn't say
Nate
you're...
pulls out his water skin and starts drinking from it.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're a terrible bodyguard. You were quicker to going over and keeping her healthy than I was after we fought the dragon.
Mr. Grissom, Othokent,
Mm-hmm.
and Gobx. Speaking of, there's Gobx.
Timing, man. Timing.
Gibbity gobs.
So, I was just presented with a note from the Soul of Summer.
Oh, that Fae thing.
Yes. And long story short, a lot of mistakes have led to Talah's abduction. Before that, something about her mom. When in reality, it was some kind of prophecy. They were looking for me. and this sword that I now have. And now
Hold
the
there for a second.
entirety.
Hold there for just a second. Talah, I need you to do a deception check for me.
Yeah, I figured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes
mm.
sense.
All of you hear a stifled cry from Talah's tent whenever he says something about her mother.
Nate shuts the fuck up.
I think that she knows you're talking about something like that. Shutting up's only gonna make it worse. Or we can ask, Talah, do you want Nate to continue? I know it's hard, but I'd like an honest answer.
Might as well.
All right. You can just speak a bit louder. We can move a bit closer to her tent to make sure she can also hear what's being said. I guess the decision was made for you, Nathaniel. Apologies.
No, I'm the one who's sorry. Apparently there's some prophecy about some descendant of someone and the sword and about the Heart of Winter. And apparently that's supposed to be me somehow, but they thought it was Talah. And before that, her mom. And now the entirety of Heart of Winter's army is out looking for me in this realm.
So, a lot of frost-related Fae, then.
An entire army coming for me, and they can tell where it is, or at least when they get close enough. As far as I found out so far.
Well, I for one say let them freaking bring it.
I was about to say, if they are cold-based, it would have been nice if it was a light domain cleric right now.
Why so?
Well, they learn to cast Fireball just like a wizard can.
They do what?
Yes. It is one of Lathander's domains.
Well, we do have our own wizard.
I
Abraham,
know.
can you cast Fireball?
Yes.
Well, I know that he can, but imagine 2 dashing men such as me and Abraham burning Fae to death.
That would just be unfair for them. Anyway, Nate?
Apologies.
Anyway, here's the note that I got. Hands it over to Gobs.
Gobs, it looks like a perfectly good explanation of an army of ice creatures are coming to kill Nate because of the sword and the prophecy. You get that immediately from looking at it. It's exactly how you would have drawn it to convey that exact same thing.
Yeah. They even call you names. This is good stuff. Very threatening.
Oh, Doc, you really need to watch the VOD after this, because
Yes, I do.
I don't know what to do. My first instinct was to run away.
Oh, no, that's not an option.
I mean,
I know.
It's an understandable first instinct. I don't judge you for it. It is one of the 2 things you can do in this situation.
I just like if I was away from all of you, especially Talah, then you wouldn't get hunted down.
Are you sure about that?
I'm already being hunted.
And I don't know where they're looking. They might even have gone for our hometown. Whatever event out in the future might already be happening now.
Well, then we can go deliver the ring and then head towards your hometown and make sure it's okay. Secondly,
Or-
Nathaniel, the thing about you just leaving us, that's a very flawed plan. Because who's not to say that they don't use the option? Because, let's be honest, you're the one who knows best about detecting if they get close. We'll be a man down. We'll be missing our sharpshooter, our tracker, our pathfinder.
Yes, and
they just take us capture and use us as leverage then. At least if we're together, we stand a better chance.
Or they try to torture us to get us to tell them where you are.
Indeed. Running from us is the worst idea.
And this is why I wanted to talk to you guys about it, because I don't have the brain for this.
May I?
Sure, go ahead.
So the way I see it, you have two options. You either run, or you stand your ground and fight. Now, if we look at running, they're going to keep chasing you, and you're going to have to keep running. And effectively, you will have to run an infinite distance because they will keep chasing you until they catch you. Alternatively, you stand your ground and fight. There's a finite number of them. That is achievable. I say standing your ground and fight makes more sense. Both of the options have a chance for you to fail. So, if you ask me, the thing that makes the most sense is to stand and fight. And if you do that, we'll stand and fight with you. If you choose to run, I'm sure that we would try to run with you. Depending on how you do it. If you do this sneak away in the night, we might not be able to. But we would try.
Indeed.
I can't run away. Even though I want to. I made a promise to be there for Talah. Made a promise to her dad. My dad. My heart.
If he fights, at least he'll be happy at the end.
So, we're going to be hunted by Fae. Let's add them to the list then.
And mercenaries who are out to catch me. So that's another thing.
So far, Fae, mercenary, dragons.
Carrie.
Well, yeah, that's why I mean with the dragons.
Are you being hunted by anything else, though?
As far as I know.
If you want, I can hunt you. That way you don't feel left out.
Not
in a serious way, like tag.
I mean, that would be quite fun, but still, it's nice. I feel this is one of the areas where I don't mind being left out.
Fair enough, but if you change your mind.
I will keep it so. But it's a difficult situation. But we'll stand there with you.
So, fighting. Nate, you likely know more about these creatures than any of us, right?
I know some things. I've tried to learn more, yeah. But we've been very busy. It's been hard getting information.
That is understandable. I mean, at this point, I think we should all try and learn something we can about these Fae. Find out how to fight them. If we find out that they're weak to fire, maybe acquiring some form of fiery weaponry could be a good idea for all of us. Abe, do you know anything about them?
Sounds like a negatory. Oh well. I'm sure they die the same as other living things.
I think that's a safe assumption until we're proven wrong.
Indeed. Though we can still try and figure out some things. Libraries do exist after all. Nathaniel, the most important thing in all of this is not to give up before we've even tried to fight. Because that's when we'll be really screwed.
I'm not giving up. I just. No.
Nate, may I have permission to touch you?
With
What?
which arm?
Are you
Is
gonna
what
punch
Nari
me?
would think.
I am going to hug you.
Sure.
Alright, calm down here, big guy. And you get the biggest hug you can imagine. Just real tight. And it's with both arms.
Oh, you're strong.
I'm actually not.
I know. Nate is just feeling very weak currently.
Look, Nate, we're not going to abandon you. You've had our back all this time. It's our turn to have your back. That's how this works.
Ryan, I don't want any of you dying because of me.
Dying
If-
because of you, are you going to kill us, Nate?
No.
No?
If we
Then
if
how
we
will
die-
we be
go ahead.
then how will we be dying because of you? You've told us the dangers. We've come with our answer to the dangers. We are all adults here. We've made our choices.
At this point, we're dying of our own stupidity, if anything.
Indeed. Or because the universe is universally unfair. But there again, you're not the one who decides this, Nate. So if we die, it will not be your fault. Just the same if Carrie came and killed us, it would be Carrie's fault. Because he's a huge dick.
Yeah.
Any other qualms you want us to calm or
Or
I
any
don't know. The Fae was talking so fast and she was saying so much. And that there's a little bit that I want to talk to Talah about.
All right,
I may
Well-
be missing some context to comment.
that's fine. Well, since Talah is still awake and she's hearing our conversation, she knows you want to talk about it, and when she feels ready, she can approach you on the subject. So we'll take that when we get to it.
Thank you for your advice. I'll do that.
Anytime, Nathaniel.
Right. So, anyways, the area is clear and safe.
Great.
I trust you on this. Where are we camping right now, by the way? Wilderness?
Wilderness just outside
Our
the
old
borders.
camping spot.
Oh, camping spot. Got it.
Okay, I'll just shut up then.
In that case,
Sorry.
No worries.
have we already sorted the watch?
Nope.
All right. I'm thinking of taking the midnight watch as usual then. If that's fine with everyone.
I'll take first watch. You guys get some sleep.
I'll take Dawn Watch.
That means Nate gets to sleep in.
Yes, please. For once.
Of course.
If I can.
If not, there will be someone awake with you at all times.
That's kind of creepy when you put it like that.
I meant if you needed someone to talk to so you're not alone.
Remember, Nathaniel, Lathander is always watching us.
I'm not getting into Lathander heaven.
Don't worry, there's still time.
No, he knows what I did.
Well, alright. I'm not gonna dig into that.
Speaking of which, I owe you a stethoscope.
Right.
Good night, all of you.
Good night, Nate.
Thank you.
All right. So as everybody kind of beds down for the evening, Abraham, you're taking the first watch. Go ahead and give me a perception check. With disadvantage.
Nice.
Nice. Anything you'd like to do on your watch other than watch?
If you're saying
Kill
anything,
me.
it's not coming through.
I'm thinking about it. He
Kill
is
Nate.
going to
Kill Talah.
Kill Othokent. Never let them know your next move.
Let him speak.
he's going to be idly sitting there with his magic book, considering the entire past, present, and potential future based upon the actions that he had taken, dragging this group into the arcane sanctum to start this whole shenanigans, and wondering exactly how much is his fault in its entirety, because he instigated a lot of this path. He's going to sit there, and he's not going to wake anybody up. He's just going to sit there, staying awake, walking, pacing the camp.
So, Abraham's going to stay up the evening, so you will take a point of exhaustion from that. The first person to wake up would be Othokent, who, as always, wakes up shortly before dawn. And you see Abraham in a nice little trail in the grass around the camp where he's been pacing all night.
Abraham, my dear friend.
Hmm.
Have you not had any sleep this night?
Didn't seem important.
I mean, it is medically inadvisable to not get a good night's rest.
Over an extended period of time, I would agree. If I stay up more than one night, then we can talk.
All right, all right. I'm not going to pull the "I'm your physician" card right now. I feel it, I don't know, overreaching, I suppose.
It's not like you haven't pulled me back from the point of death several times.
And I'll keep doing it till the day I die. I make it
Hmm.
sound like it's going to happen millions of times. I really hope it doesn't. So, any particular reason why you've been making a nice magic circle around the camp?
Why do you have emotions?
I gained them after coming into contact with Lathander.
And how did that happen?
Because of the whole trip to the bottom of the ocean.
And why did that trip happen?
Because my good friend needed help, and I said yes.
Yes, because of me.
In some aspects, yes.
And why does Gobs have an entity made of pure void attached to her? Because of me.
Well, there's also the whole thing about her past. Don't forget that.
Hmm.
That whole, no offense, clusterfuck.
So many things may have been so much simpler for us had we not. Had I not drug you into that entire affair.
I mean, I was being rather forceful about accompanying you on that trip.
Yes, and I was rather insistent that you come along. Insanity seems to provoke a lot of zealous behavior.
I suppose.
My own death has happened. Nate has died. I've been nearly killed 2 or 3 times over now.
A lot of horrendous occurrences, I agree.
And because of the path that we've been set upon, we're being hunted by a god being to resurrect another god being.
It really seems above the pay grade of a local doctor and his curio collector friend. They're hoodlum, a farm boy, and a farm girl.
Yes. The things that I've been wrangled into dealing with a Fae, coming back to exact vengeance, seems to pale into comparison to the end of existence should we fail.
You know?
Soul of Winter comes back and wants to curl somebody, that's one person dead. They want to enslave half the world, that's half the world still alive. I fail. Existence fails. I understand his concern. I understand what he's going through. And it only seems to compound my worries about what's been put forth in front of me because of my insane quest to find answers. Having been on the brink of death twice in the past 24 hours, I don't even know how I feel anymore. Makes me think that your previous existence without emotions would be easy.
It would. Definitely. Though my previous existence in my village would also have been easy if I hadn't sought out actual medical knowledge and never went to Neap. But even so, my presence in Neap has helped the existence of a lot of people, simply because of what I knew and what I was willing to learn. My lack of emotion did bring a certain focus on my studies, but it also made that I had terrible bedside manner. I was missing the, as you might call it, the human element of being a doctor. Might as well have been a robot at that point.
Some days I think that may be easier for the rages and sadness and manic depressions and manic behaviors that I go through every 24 hours.
I mean, I still don't completely understand all the emotions and why I feel them.
I'll let you in on a secret. I doubt there's many people who have lived with emotions since birth that fully understand them.
Interesting point. Though I will also say that now that I've had emotions for a couple of months, I would not want to go back.
Yeah, you just haven't had them long enough.
Well, depends why you think I haven't. I mean, most of the things I've felt so far has been anger, sadness, and also a fair share of regret. Was especially bad right around the town with the whole Gobx's mom idea, the incident. I wanted to tear her and her entire gang limb from limb, and eat whatever the leftovers were for there. But I digress, that's a whole nother issue. It seems like in all the revelations that came from the Storm of Fate, I'm the only one who had one that was pretty good.
Yes, possibly. But you have not escaped the fate of being hunted by Carrie.
No, I haven't. I have not escaped the fate of potentially being hunted by some of his siblings too. I haven't escaped from the fate of Milla, Gobs' mom being a annoying witch. Not a literal witch, but you get what I mean. I haven't escaped of whatever Fae is chasing Nathaniel, and I haven't escaped the fate of regular brigands, mercenaries, and whoever else. Feels like they don't like us, and then there's that damn cat folk that also wants to kill us. But even so, I am not afraid, I am not angry, and I am not sad. Because at least throughout all of this, I have you guys with me. And even though sometimes you let your conflicts get the better of you and your emotions go out of control, granted, I feel like I've been decent at keeping mine in check. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's some sort of blame game. Like, oh, your emotions, they're taking you over, how bad of a person you are. I mean, I think it's more natural to let them flow too much sometimes. But still, I don't know if you call it going with the flow, but I've made my decision so far. I made the decision to join you. I've made the decision to stay with you afterwards. I made the decision to try and help resurrect Gilgamesh or Enkidu or Bobbidi-Boo or whatever his name is. I've made the decision to help Nathaniel forever, whatever might trouble him, and I've promised to help Talah in whatever ways I might be able to help Talah. Partially also helping her not eat her brother. That was a weird situation. But I digress. I do not blame you. I do not blame Nathaniel. I do not blame Gobs. I do not blame Talah for these things that are going wrong. I blame the ones behind it. The actual culprits.
I see. Something to think on.
So please, at least in that regard, do not be angry at yourself for my situation. For even if there's a lot of bad that's come with it, it's also brought perspective. It's brought me a kind of happiness that I've never known before. And a love for my fellow traveling companions that warms me to my very core. Just like the sun coming up now.
You better get your prayers going. I know how important it is to you in the morning.
Indeed.
I'll wake the others.
Thank you kindly, Abraham. Don't ever be afraid to ask me to carry some of your burdens. You might get tired with no sleep.
He goes around and gently wakes everybody up.
All right, so everybody's
What?
been
What?
woken up. It's morning time.
Wait, why's the morning? What
Because the sun came up.
Wasn't I supposed to have a watch?
Supposed to and actually had are two different things, Gobs.
Did I oversleep?
Not because it's your fault.
Oh. You okay then?
Maybe. I have some thinking to do.
Alright. I'll let you do your thinking then. It's what you do best. Well, it's one of the things you do best. You do a lot of things best.
He goes and finds this. I don't know if a log would be appropriate, a rock to sit on, and faces out and towards the horizon.
All right, so since it's morning, is there anything else anybody else would like to do?
Well,
Of course,
Othokent.
Nate, you need to roll for oatmeal.
Yay, oatmeal.
Can I assist?
Yeah,
I want to assist.
since Gobs is assisting you, you roll for oatmeal at disadvantage.
Oh, no.
Am I that bad?
So, if
I'm joking. Roll it with advantage.
so if Nate was a paladin of the harvest, would it be an oath meal?
Oof. Gee.
Oh my god. Can we give Otho whatever the opposite of inspiration is?
Huh?
Yeah, you have to let Nexus roll for you for the next roll. That's the opposite of inspiration.
Oof. And here I had a whole speech being so nice and kind to everyone. It's like, yeah, fuck you. Opposite of inspiration.
Yeah, you ruined it yourself.
But Nari rolls worse than me.
Yes, I do.
What?
Anyways.
So the two of them roll, and I get the worst one.
Yes.
Yes. Talah's just gonna quietly pack up her tents and such.
Oatmeal has been made. Not bad.
Consume the
Um,
oatmeal.
Nate, did you go to wake up Talah?
No.
Abe would have woken her up. Like I said, Abe woke up everybody.
Abe, one thing you would have noticed is that there were a whole lot of daisies sitting on the ground outside of her tent.
He makes no never mind about it and wakes her up anyways.
Yeah, just making that statement.
Nate has been staring over at the tent a lot, though.
You may have seen the daisies on the ground.
Woohoo.
I don't know if anybody but Talah knows the significance behind those daisies. In character, anyways.
The only one that should know is Pip. He read
Uh-huh.
my journal.
Yeah, just as a reminder to the player, in case he doesn't remember, in her journal about her vision, she laid daisies on your grave.
Yeah.
Okay, making sure you remembered.
No, I remember that piece of heartbreak.
Yeah, all right, just making sure.
Making sure your heart's shattering constantly. Later.
Thank you very much.
He shattered hers, so just returning the favor.
So is anyone feeling any adverse effects after the dragon fight yesterday? Any excessive soreness, any feeling of very discomfort, any nasty smells?
I mean,
None caused by the dragon.
All right.
I'm fine.
Anyone who got bit by the Skelevones that needs a tetanus shot?
no. What's tetanus?
So, tetanus is a disease you usually contract from touching or being cut by rusty objects that makes your limbs go rather stiff.
I mean, one of them does.
Gobx, you didn't say no because you're afraid of needles, right?
I've definitely had a whatever you called it shot before.
I mean, it's not because I need to treat you medically with it. I can remove diseases magically now. It's
Okay.
just I'd like to try and approach things in a medical manner before I jump straight to the magic.
Understandable. No, I don't believe I was bitten.
Well, I'm just trying to make sure. Wouldn't want anyone getting an infection either, so if you feel anything odd, weird, or unpleasant of the ordinary, I can't guarantee what arms, fey feelings, and whatever else kind of weird connections we have to not be a thing, but still. I must remain vigilant for your guys' health, at least a little.
Understandable.
And, woo, oatmeal. Wow.
I'm running out though. Gonna need some more supplies.
Well, we should be heading back to the city if there's any place to buy supplies.
We can always restock when we get back there. Shouldn't be a problem.
Imagine a bag of holding just full of oats.
That's a big pile of oats.
Talah, you want some breakfast?
Okay, thanks.
Gonna pour a bowl anyway and ask if Gob's mind's going over with it.
I don't mind. Taking the bowl, walking over. Oats. They're good.
I
And
said I'm fine.
with that, she just leaves them.
And Talah's gonna leave them exactly where Gobs put them.
All right. Anybody have anything they'd like to do as you guys pack up camp and get ready to head to wherever it is you're going next?
Do we have service out here? When I check my phone?
No, you do not.
Oh well. Okay.
You
Then
won't
no,
until
I
you
don't
get
want to do
closer to
anything.
the city itself.
Fair enough. But yeah, then no, nothing currently.
All right. So things are fairly uneventful as you guys finish getting camp packed up.
Do I see him do that?
Uh, Perception check.
No,
No, you do not.
I am not using my inspiration on that.
But you're not that spiteful.
No, no, but I'm getting there. Don't worry about it.
All right. So, Nate, where are we headed? Are we headed to Estelle or are we headed to the city of Gilgamesh?
Well, Estelle, since people were talking about that.
All right. Go ahead and give me a survival check.
Also, Nate is going to be checking his phone for coverage or whatever it's called.
You
Every
do
now
not
and
have
then.
coverage. Yeah, you won't until you get closer to the city of Gilgamesh.
How have y'all's phone kept their charge?
He doesn't use it for playing games like you.
Now that's just hurtful.
And painfully
Also,
accurate.
By
Nate,
having it turned off unless she needs
Nate
it.
is Nate is obviously distracted.
yeah, but even so, you're heading back up a path that you crossed before, so you're not going to have any trouble getting back there. You just won't get back there extra quick or anything. So you guys will be walking throughout the rest of the day, getting to Estelle in the early evening. Is there anything anybody wants to do as you guys head that way?
Not that I can think of.
Actually, that village we were at, that will be on the way back, right?
That's Estelle.
Oh, never mind then.
That's where you guys are
When-
going.
Whenever we take small breaks, Nate is going to be playing his flute.
Talah, or here's what I want. Nate, so let's say you're going to take 2 breaks throughout the day. So give me 2 performance checks. Okay, Talah, I need charisma saving throws.
Oh, okay. 3? No, 2.
2.
2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 1. Good. 2. Ah! Ah!
Yeah, Nate, give me perception checks.
Please roll as bad as I have. Let's show Othokent. No, we're supposed to. Yeah, there we go. We're supposed to
So,
show Othokent what happens when we roll.
And you can decide that you don't do the second plane after what I tell you. You noticed the first time. So when you're playing a song from home, and Talah just loses it and starts crying, like crocodile tear, sobbing, crying.
Yeah, so I think that explains his
Very
second
terribly at
performance
hiding
roll.
it.
Like he picks out the flute and is about to, out of habit, and then
Puts it
oh
away.
yeah, no.
All right. Well, it'll be early evening as you guys start to get onto the outskirts of Estelle.
I do have a thing I want to do when we're almost there. We end up traveling for more than one day on the way there, right? Or am I misremembering the distance?
Yeah, on the way to Tomb Whispers Hills, you camped once.
Okay, so only once.
Yeah.
Then no, nothing yet.
Okay. All right. So you guys start to get close to Estelle. Again, it's going to be early evening, like 5-6 p.m. as you guys start to walk into the outskirts of town. What would you guys like to do upon getting to Estelle?
Well, this. If there's a place to buy oats, I don't know if Estelle is a good place. Considering, everything that happened here.
So, ask your question again. I'm sorry.
It was more a question like out loud to the group.
Oh.
But I did say that, if we're trying to buy oats, I'm not sure Estelle is a good place, considering everything that's happened here.
I mean, they just had their harvest. They should be plenty stocked for now.
I mean, we can definitely check if they have oats.
And giving them some money wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, it's a good plan. I support this plan. I want to be a part of it.
You're acting weird.
No.
Okay.
That's how that works.
Let's
You're
look
acting
for
kind of
oats.
weird. No. Oh, okay. Dorks. But yeah, it won't be too hard. Everybody recognizes that who you guys are. So as you guys start to come back in, they're excited to see you, and everyone's like, "Hey, you guys made it back. Good to see you." Yada yada. And when you ask about grain or oats, one of the local farmers brings you a sack full of oats and refuses to take any type of money for it.
Okay. Well, is there anything else I can do or give?
Yeah, you can give us some of your time. Let's head over to the tavern. Have a good drink. Still celebrating.
Oh,
He puts his arm around you and begins to drag you off.
I'm not sure we can
You can do that, Nate. I'll take this
Also-
back to the rest.
get. No.
And another guy goes, not you, cute little green girl. You're coming with us too. And he puts his hand around your waist and begins to escort you that way too.
How tall is he when he's doing this?
He's a shorter human. He's like 5'8". But still, no, they're and the farm wives and everything are everybody's kind of coming out, seeing you guys back, and they're gonna have a impromptu, tavern party with you guys. So everybody who's anybody, as they start to see you, keep trying to get you. Abraham is. Jeez, don't give me a hard time, Nexus. But they the local village girls run up to Talah because she spent a lot of time with them and teaching them stuff, and they start grabbing Talah's hands, even though she's pouty, sad Talah, and dragging her that way as well.
She is actively trying to resist this.
They're not gonna take no for an answer. Because they're not dragging you there for Talah's sake; they're dragging Talah there for their sake. So they don't even really acknowledge that you're sad.
Yeah, I have a
you
way of getting away from this.
Yeah, you do. You can do it if you want.
I'm going to wild shape into a mouse and scurry off.
Get trampled.
As soon as you're a mouse, they get scared and run away.
Beautiful. So there are stables in this town, right?
Of course.
Then I'm headed there as a mouse.
Okay. All right.
Squeak.
You squeak your way to the stables. Abraham, would you let yourself be drugged to the tavern, or would you find a way out of it?
I would very much prefer to be left alone.
Oh, come on. You're a hero. Come get it. Let us buy you a drink.
I have made my request. Do not make it more forcefully.
Hey, we're just trying to show you some gratitude, man. You don't have to be like that. Like, whatever.
Yes.
And then they walk away.
So once at the stables, I would shift back to me when I can see the coast is clear.
It is immediately clear. Nobody's paying attention to the stables.
Beautiful.
And are you just gonna crawl into the hay and cry yourselves to sleep?
Nope, I'm going to cast Speak with Animals and just clear my head and my heart to these horses.
Abraham, tobacco is probably one of the few things they would not have. So all the crops that Talah helped them regrow would have been sustainable food crops. They don't have anything like that readily available. I'm sure you'd have enough of your own, though. All right. Anything else anybody would like to do? So we've got Nate and Othokent and Gobs, who got drugged to the bar, to the tavern. Abraham sitting on a fence by himself on the edge of town. And Talah is talking to horses.
Yes.
Anything anybody else would like to do for the remainder of that evening?
No.
This is going to be very sad.
What's going to be sad?
Every
making
single
Nate
route we
drink.
take right now?
Oh. So, yeah, Nate, you could talk your way into just having water or whatnot. Again, you guys being there is half an excuse for them to celebrate you guys, but half an excuse for them to celebrate just not being captured by evil people.
Well, Othokent's got to try and enjoy himself. Might as well.
Yeah, roll for enjoyment.
What kind of roll is that?
Just a straight
Charisma
20.
save.
Or percentage.
Sleight of hand.
Percentage check.
Oh, a percentage check. Well, Talah, Nathaniel, you know what you need to do.
Yeah! A D100.
Both of you need to roll a D100, and one soundstream considers worse. It's apparently how much I enjoy myself.
Yeah, so it's still awkward for you because you're still getting used to this kind of stuff, and you had to deal with so much of the more negative emotions. Getting into this where people are happy again is a bit of such a tone shift. It's not super fun, but you're like, okay, I get it.
Nice. New experiences. Woo!
Abraham,
Yes.
as you're sitting there, kind of staring up at the sky because the sun is down and it's it's a new moon, so nothing bright in the sky. You kind of sitting there smoking your pipe, and you notice a different tobacco smell. And when you look to your right, you see Gobs sitting on the fence next to you, smoking a cigarette.
Oh.
Takes note of her and looks back towards where he was staring previously, not disapproving or approving of her presence. She just is.
Are you doing okay? Out here by yourself?
He looks around rather obviously and says, "Oh, no dragons trying to kill me, no liches turning me into zombies, nobody trying to kill the people I drug into this bullshit. So yeah, I seem to be okay for the moment."
Well, not right now, but who knows about tomorrow, eh?
Yeah,
You
tomorrow.
said drug us. What do you mean by that?
Dragons. The dragons to
No,
kill me.
You said drug into bullshit.
Oh, drug in. Here. Sorry, I misunderstood your sentence.
That's perfectly fine.
You wouldn't be here if you didn't get drugged down into the bottom of the ocean. You
No,
wouldn't have been drugged down to the bottom of the ocean if it wasn't for me.
that's
You
true.
wouldn't be hunted by a god being on a quest to resurrect another god being to save all of existence. If it weren't for me.
You know where I would be, though?
Not being hunted.
No, that would be over relatively quick. I'd have been sold off to that lab. Remember those?
Maybe.
I mean, worst case scenario, I'd still be slumming it in Neap, living off of whatever I could get, only having one arm. No friends to probably speak of, no nothing. I wouldn't have seen the world or anything. Worse than that, my mom would have sold me off, which she clearly planned to, and I would right now be, well, according to the files, in a lab going through stage 3 crystallization right now, which will end in painful and slow death and degradation of my physical body. As far as I'm concerned, me going with you to the bottom of the ocean, best thing that ever happened to me.
For now. Who's to say what would have been, and who's to say what tomorrow will be?
It does you no good to consider what could have been. I can look back at what was there. That sucked. This here doesn't. Besides, with how desperate I was at the time, I would have taken any job. If not your job, I would have taken some other desperate job. Likely would have gotten me killed too. And did you really know what was down there? I mean, truly. You knew something was there, right? But you couldn't have possibly known what.
That's why I wanted to find it again.
Yeah. We all went with you. Some with the promise of pay, some without. But ultimately, we chose to go with you. You didn't force our hand. You didn't deceive us in any way. You were pretty straightforward about what we were going to go there for. Oh, and if we hadn't gone, I'm fairly certain that Carrie right now would just have free reign. So that means that sure, we wouldn't be suffering for now, but whenever he finishes whatever he's doing, we'd be faced with whatever his end goal would have been. I think my head hurts from that sentence.
Maybe. Fate is a fickle thing. If one player doesn't join the game, it'll find another one.
Either that or the other player just wins by default. It's like that in like chess, I think. If one person doesn't show up, the other just win.
I'm surprised you know anything about chess.
I've watched some Beholder videos.
You spend too much time on your phone.
Yeah. It's kind of what I got before I met you guys. Used to have friends on there too. Well, at least one. But you're concerned that this is all somehow your fault then? Is that what I'm understanding here?
Yeah. This is all my fault.
I don't think so. And even if we assume it all it all was your responsibility, then you'd also have to take responsibility of all the joy we've experienced along the way.
Yes, I can see that every time I look at Talah these days, all that joy.
Oof.
Yeah,
Ouch.
I don't exactly know what to do about her situation. I feel like I should do something. Just don't know what. What to say, how to approach it. Part of me
She'd have
wants to just grab her, shake her, and go just properly talk to each other like adults, damn it, but I don't think that will work for either of them.
Nate doesn't know what he wants. He's afraid to let her in because he's afraid she'd get hurt. In the same way, I'm afraid that I hurt all of you by getting you involved with my life. Nate is going through a pre-crisis, while I'm going through a post-crisis.
I have some things I need to Google.
Yes. He's worried about what might be, and I'm worried about what was done.
Well,
And his worry is overriding his emotional capacity for connecting to another individual. But neither one of them will open their eyes and be honest with each other or themselves that they need each other. And I don't have the energy to fight anymore. Not today.
that's alright. But I'm not letting you sit here alone. I hope you don't mind.
I do not. Just don't expect me to say much.
I won't. You didn't when I was having a bad day, so.
He says simply, thank you, and doesn't say much more.
See whoever does stick around for however long they end up sitting there.
I imagine at some point Abraham's exhaustion gets to him, and he starts to doze off. So you kind of eventually get him sleepily to a bed. There have been places that are set aside for you guys. Talah,
Yes.
as you're kind of moping around the barn, and you do cast speak with animals, one of the horses
Yes.
looks at you and goes, "Brr, why the long face?"
A long story. If you've got the time.
I have no concept of time. I'm a horse.
Fair enough. Maybe I need a different perspective that's not humanoid. So there's this guy, and I really care for this guy. But I feel like I'm just not good for his health, I guess. He is constantly protecting me, and even though I appreciate that, he is never putting himself first. And now he has this idea that he has to sacrifice himself for me. And he believes that that way he'll be happy.
So
It's
he never puts
quite a
himself
lot,
in front of the herd, huh?
indeed.
Well, do you ever put him first yourself?
I mean, I've
If he won't
tried,
do
but
it,
every time I've even attempted to give that a go, he has always been first to push that aside.
look, I'm just a horse, and maybe things are a little bit easier than us. There's this filly that I didn't realize that she was into me, but then, we came into season, she presented herself, I mounted her, and that's where our son came from. So it's pretty simple for us horses. And I'm not saying you should go and present yourself and let him mount you. I don't know how that works with people, but maybe you should be a bit more direct. Let him know what is important to you, and maybe if he won't meet his own needs and take care of himself, maybe you do that for him to show him how important he is to you. I wouldn't do it if you're in heat, though. The pheromones will confuse him.
I'm just really afraid to lose him.
Well, if you keep pushing him away and hiding in a barn, you're going to lose him either way.
But at least he won't have to worry about me anymore.
Well, if he's not taking care of himself now, when you're gone, you think he's going to take care of himself any better?
I don't know.
Sure you do. You're smart enough to talk to a horse.
There's just a lot's happened, and I don't even know how to start a conversation with him.
Try hello. I mean, what do you want more than anything when it comes to this rugged stallion?
I want him to be happy. And
Okay. Well, does seeing you in the state you're at make him happy?
I hope not.
Okay. Well, what does make him happy?
Nari's brain just went dead. Damn you,
Nari's
intrusive
brain?
thoughts. Yeah,
Oh,
Nari's brain.
oh, gotcha. Like,
Nari's brain just went dead.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, not wrong there. Um, making music, crafting.
Hey, well, why don't you go find him and ask him to play for you then?
Um,
That's a start. Then tell him what's upsetting you and find out what's upsetting him. And then work together to resolve that. Communication is important. And again, sometimes us boys are kind of dumb. That's why the filly had to stick it all out there for me to know what I was supposed to do about it. Because I was just thinking about salt blocks. Love salt blocks.
I could get you one from the shed,
That would be nice.
especially after giving me this advice. Least I could do. Could see about getting some apples, maybe?
Well, the salt will be good enough. But the point is, sometimes you just have to talk. Stop hiding stuff. Be blunt. Be straightforward. Right? Get all that confusion out of the way. There's too many you thinks and I don't knows in that conversations. Why don't you sit down and talk to them and find out what you do know and what you should know? Make it clear to him what's important to you, like my wife did to me, and then he'll make you know what he thinks is important. And then find places where those lines intersect and shoot for those. Now, just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. I mean, for a horse, it's easy because we don't wear pants. Pants are confusing to me. They scare me.
Well, then I apologize for wearing pants.
I mean, like, pants on horses just wouldn't make sense.
Oh, right. Yeah, no.
Pants on
Though,
people
don't they
makes sense.
sometimes do that when you get hurt?
I've never been hurt.
Well, let's keep it that way.
Excellent. So, weren't you a mouse a minute ago?
Oh, yeah. I
That's
kind of
weird.
have the ability to turn into animals.
Oh, can
I
he
don't know
turn into
exactly where
animals?
it came from. No, he
Oh,
cannot,
because
but
if you could both
he's...
turn into horses, it'd probably be a lot easier.
Yeah,
So, about that salt.
I'm... Yes, I will go and get that for you.
Yeah, you're able to find the salt lick real easy for him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then after that, Talah is going to go to the, I think it was the inn or tavern
Mm-hmm.
where they gathered everyone, and go find Nate.
Whenever you get there, Nate is right on the tail end of somebody showing him how to use a specific type of what are they called? One more word. Chisel. There we go. To do a specific style of counter grain detailing work on spruce specifically. And you see
Okay.
Nate being kind of deadlock focused on that, as this
That
older
is
gentleman's got
genius.
his little thing. And it's like, right, you've got to come in from this angle, and it's all about the twist and pivot that edge of the chisel. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Question: does he
Mm-hmm.
look happy right now?
He looks. He looks like Nate. He's just he's existing. So he's not happy. He's not
He's
upset.
existing.
Yeah, he's being Nate.
I would say he looks more natural than he has in a long time.
He looks more comfortable, but not necessarily happy because he's got that air of sadness around him, but he's comfortable, right? It's kind
Okay.
of like if you see somebody
Okay.
who's upset and they're in an unfamiliar place, they look upset and uncomfortable. Um, this is somebody who's upset in their living room, right? He's
Then,
at least comfortable.
yeah. Then I'm gonna at least wait until that conversation is uh reaching an end, and then I'll approach.
All right. Yep, that was the tail end of it, and then you can approach.
Yeah. Hi.
You guys really should. Oh. Hi.
Um, can we talk privately?
Oh, yes. Of course. Yeah. Okay. See you later. Have fun. And do contact my dad for sure.
Right, I will do. Will do. Good spruce up where you're from, right?
Yep.
All right. Good to see you, Nate. Everybody's supposed to like, bye, Nate. Woo, yeah. And everybody's kind of cheering and laughing and raising their drinks to you.
Awkwardly waving, leaving.
Hey. So, believe it or not, but I'm taking advice from a horse.
Nate,
I
you believe
mean,
it.
at this point, we've done much stranger things, and we've both talked to horses.
Yeah, a lot has happened,
Indeed.
and we do need to address a lot of it.
Right.
Why didn't
So,
you tell me before?
uh,
Uh,
the thing I said at the door.
yes,
I mean, what good would it have done?
we could have just talked about it instead of it being like a knife in my back.
Well, I'm sorry. I really am. But
I,
I also said it in past tense because at this point I just feel ashamed. Like in the moment, I felt like it was okay, but I know it's not. The more I think of it about it, but it's just more scary losing you.
it just seems that whatever direction we're taking, it those visions seem more and more inevitable. And I don't want to lose you. I cannot lose you.
I'm I'm still here. I'm 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 trying to be here. I'm not going anywhere. We're trying to work against whatever we saw, right?
Yeah, well, currently it just feels like we're going there on a high speed.
I I know. I just I don't know what to do about it. Like all I know is that you're here and I can reach you and I can keep you safe. So that's what's important. That's what I can do currently.
But you also have to think about yourself, Pip. Not always put me first. You deserve happiness and whatever kind of fun or anything like that.
I'm usually plenty happy. It's just
Give
been
me a
rough lately.
deception check on that.
What?
I'm
That's not
joking.
wrong.
I'm joking. Go ahead.
Like usually. It's just been rough
Usually.
lately. And like I just I don't know what to make of it all. I'm just glad we have Mr. Grissom and Othokent here to give some kind of insight into it all. Because I'm just grasping at straws. I and I'm I don't even know what to say anymore.
I'm at a loss for words as well. I just,
I'm Talah, I'm the happiest when you're lolling about, just having a field day, just going through the hills, looking at plants, smiling and
I
talking
haven't
about
done that in a long while.
whatever. I know.
Not exactly what I expected when I wanted to leave home.
Indeed. I
But hey, at least I found some traces of my mom in the city of Gilgamesh.
right. It would be great if we could find her.
You said that little fairy thing spoke about her?
Indeed. I am. I'm worried about her.
I'm always worried about her. From the
Mm,
moment she left home.
I don't know what exactly happened with your mom. The Fae didn't say much. All I know is I don't think she's in a good place, um, mentally. So if
I
we
don't
can
think we
find
are
her,
either.
I think she is perhaps worse off. But I don't know. But the important part is she's alive, and we can find her eventually.
I mean, I would love to just get a scrying scroll or something. See if we can find her that way.
Yeah. Maybe when we get back to Gilgamesh, we can find someone who can do that. I don't know if Mr. Grissom is able to.
I doubt I have the funds for it, Pip.
I mean, we usually help each other.
Besides, what if we run into another dragon on the way there? There's been too many close calls. Look at Abraham.
I I know.
What if one day that's one of us and there's nothing to do about it?
I'm trying to not let that happen. I'm doing my best.
We're all doing our best to not let that happen.
Yes. So we can't keep worrying about all these things that are out of our hands. I just at some point we need to let the worries go and just forge ahead. At this point we're surrounded by so many people who are trying to do stuff against us.
I just mean we don't know how much time we have. With Carrie and this whole building Gilgamesh thing and the Heart of Winter and whatever the whole situation is with Gobs, that bounty on her head.
I know.
We just don't know when time is gonna run out and we won't be lucky anymore.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. At least for my own sanity. Or I I might be stupid. I know I am, but like
No, you're not.
as I said, just at some point you need to drop these worries and just do something. Otherwise we're gonna get paralyzed and fearful of doing anything.
I think you're a whole lot better at this adventuring thing than me. Because I don't know how to shut that off. All I do is worry. about Gobs, about Otho, about Abraham, about you, most of all.
I know.
I don't think you realize how much I care for you. How much it hurt to be in front of your grave. Like a piece of me was just gone. And I know it's selfish, but if you do die, I will personally come and get you back. Whatever afterlife you will be in.
Right.
And I
And
kiss
I
him.
would do the same. Nate is just frozen.
I I'm
And then
sorry, that
hugs her
was
tightly and returns the kiss.
end scene. Right there.
As Gobs comes around the corner. Ah, that was a good piss.
No,
Sorry.
I'm way far away. I'm not ruining this.
But yeah.
All right. So, as everybody's
And I
conversations
said,
wind down,
Hey, yeah. Hey,
What's going
yeah. I said, hey, what's going on?
and demonetized.
I already sang all the firework, and that didn't get demonetized, so I think we'll be all right.
I mean, didn't it?
No, I did get hit for
no.
copyright on that one. But yeah, so everybody kind of eventually makes their way back to their. There's a couple little houses that were set aside for you guys to crash out for the evening. Is there anything else anything else anyone would like to do before morning?
Can I use the arm to princess carry Abraham to bed?
Sure.
And drag a bush.
I imagine you're carrying him and he's swaddling the Roscoes
Yes.
under his arms.
The one Roscoe.
The real one? You wouldn't give your familiar a hug? I see how it is.
No. Real Roscoe's with Lily back in Gilgamesh.
That's right. I keep
Yeah?
forgetting that.
I mean, the only thing
real Roscoe went into the death zone, what would happen to real Roscoe?
He'd die.
Okay.
And then we'd kill the death zone. You don't fucking touch Roscoe. Unless you're Abraham and cuddle him, then it's okay.
Yes.
I mean, the only thing is I'm wondering, does Othokent manage to meet any of his companions on the way back?
I'm willing to have you meet us in that situation where Gobs is tentacle arm carrying a sleeping Abraham on the outskirts of town.
And then you walk by an alleyway and see Talah and Nathaniel kissing.
And so it's actually after the first kiss, it's like the second or third kiss, and it's full on face eating kissing. The tongues are just everywhere.
Jesus.
What?
But all right, I managed to
No.
meet Gobs and Abraham. That's fine. Hey, Gobs! Your arm turned into a squid.
Shh, Otho, Abraham is sleeping. You're drunk.
Am I? I didn't realize. Besides, Abraham can sleep through an earthquake.
Just checking if Abraham is still asleep.
You'd be surprised when he can sleep through. I almost thought he was dead sometimes when I went for welfare checks. That man sleeps like a clump of adamantine. It's impressive. You know, guys, it's kind of refreshing in all of this. Everyone seems so sad. And I'm trying to be happy about everything, but you know, it's nice that you try and keep a good mood about everything. You know, there's a group of mercenaries hunting you and your mom's what should we say? Cunt. That's the name. Like it's nice. It's nice that you're trying to stay happy. And you're all right. We're dragon slayers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like who back in Neap can say they killed a dragon? No one. We did. With the power of friendship and magic and moonbeams and a sword.
A lot of sorting, yes.
Exactly.
As she's at this point tucking Abraham in. I
We
presume
killed
they kept walking.
we killed an entire dragon, and that dragon killed entirely none of us. God, how bad was it at his job? Almost got Abraham, though. Glad it did.
Good thing you were there. You saved him too.
True. I would rather have to avoid saving people from death constantly, but I'm glad I'm there to do it.
We're glad you are there to do it too.
Also, with all the things with Nathaniel, there's a heart of winds and Nathaniel's tested. No, he's not. I'm gonna let Nathaniel die. I'm not gonna let Talah die. I'm not gonna let you die or Abraham die. Well, I let Abraham die, but I brought him back. I ain't gonna let anyone stay dead.
I'm very happy you feel like that.
Yeah.
What have you been drinking?
It was something with
Absinthe?
That's the one.
Oh boy. Let's get you some water.
You know what? Water would be nice.
Indeed it would. Here's a flask. Drink all of it.
Thank you, guys. Usually I'm the one who looks out for people, so it's nice having someone else who can do it.
I'm happy to look after you whenever you need it.
I appreciate it.
Also, I'm gonna roll up my bedroll next to you.
You're welcome to do so. There's plenty of space. Anyways, I'll help with anything. I don't care. I've killed people, I've saved people. And someone even once tried to hire me as an escort. That was weird.
Someone tried to hire you as an escort.
Yeah, you know, when I just arrived in Neap, there was some shady fellow. He was like, "Oh, you're one of those lizard folks. I hear you don't have any emotions. That could be really useful. I have some clients, some prospects that really need something like that. And you're kind of rare." I was like, "No, I'm gonna become a doctor."
Oh, you meant bodyguard escort.
No. He had
No.
that smell on him, you know, of pheromones, I think. He smelled very much like liquids.
I see.
I think he wanted to do things to my behind that would be undescribable in common space. But he did offer me 2,000 gold pieces for it.
I mean, 2,000 gold pieces is 2,000 gold pieces. I mean, no. Don't ever accept those.
I mean, I didn't, but you know, that's where being logical was kind of a hindrance, because I was like, well, if I earned that much from it, and I was like, no, I need to stay focused. I need to do what I want to do.
Understandable. So, are you like doing the keeping yourself pure because of your god thing, or?
Oh, it's just not something that's come into, you know, the scope of things.
Fair enough.
First I focused on getting my medical degree. That took a good couple of years, and then I opened the clinic, and clinic was busy. And then I suddenly became a divinely powered warrior of Lavender. I also did get these gloves that make me absolutely jacked.
Those definitely help, yes. You know, if you were ever inclined, I'm sure there's plenty of women who would be, hunky lizard brain. It does things for people. Just saying, you'd do well.
Well, I never really considered that, but you know where I came from. It was very logical and all those things like, oh, that guy's strong, that guy's fast, that guy's has great constitution. They'll live for long.
I mean, you have all of that and a god's blessing.
Indeed. I have everything. Well, I don't have to
And this conversation continues as you guys go to bed.
Yes.
Hey, eventually he stumbles and you end up having a princess carry both him and Abraham at the same time, with the arm extending itself to support the weight.
Yay!
Pretty soon the arm just forms an entire other person and carries all three of you.
I mean, it probably could do that.
It would still have to be attached, but it probably could.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a note, because I know you guys' brains, especially after what has been posted in Discord, there is no fade to black moment.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't.
No,
expect
it happens on screen.
Start
No.
describing.
No.
It's one of those. It's one of those Korean movies where they just go all
Fine.
out with it.
I'll describe it. They go back to the place where they're staying, and they awkwardly leave each other to sleep in their own little beds.
No,
It just happened to be in the same bed.
No, they're going to do the most intimate thing they can do. They're going to combine their finances.
They might even hold hands.
Oh,
my
don't.
God.
That needs some.
We all know what happens when you hold hands.
It gets censored.
Yeah.
You know why, Nexus. We just don't want to talk about it. So, so you guys spend the evening resting. Everybody gets caught up with all the rest. We wake up in the morning, and as the group is somewhat refreshed, renewed, recovering from various states of mental anguish, I believe that is where we will end the session for this week. And we'll see where the group goes.
Yeah.
How is everyone doing in the morning? Is Otho just hammered?
I picture Otho crawling out of bed and going, the sunrise. Oh, God, why? Why does it burn? Why do I worship the sun god? My head.
Why does my tongue have hairs?
Why am I being punished, Lavender? Why?
I was trying to lessen that with the water.
I tried to sing your praises. I'm sorry, they were off key.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what we're in this week's session. We'll pick up here next time.
Yay!
Yay!
Progress!
Excellent. Well, for all of our friends watching, we appreciate you. That's it for this week, and we'll see you next time.